Hello, guys. Welcome to the news readings. I am here to read news from the different apps of different newspapers to give you an update of the news for the day. Let's get started. So, let us see. First of all, let's see what Economic Times has to offer us. Let's go into the quick reads. Quick reads, and that too from the beginning. Okay, so first of all, there is a news that lockdown day 50, Nirmala Sitharaman, the finance minister, sets the stage. The government pledged rupees 20,000 lakh crores to take the fight to the coronavirus pandemic, which has butchered the Indian economy. Even as major Indian states stand to lose 97,100 crore in April alone. So that means the government has announced a package for rupees 20,000 lakh crores to boost the Indian economy, which has been affected by the pandemic. And the Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman laid out the initial parts of the government's Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. With this, the government has pledged around 10% of the nation's GDP towards its virus fight, in line with global powerhouses like Germany and France. Here are the latest updates. Shramik special train passenger tests positive. Okay, Maharashtra now has 24,427 cases in 921 deaths. That's bad. 152 new cases in 3 deaths reported in Rajasthan today. Odisha now has 538 cases and 3 casualties. 359 new cases reported in Delhi in 24 hours, and 48 new cases takes Andhra tally to 2,137. 26 more cases reported in Chandigarh. Union Territory now has 189 cases in total. Bihar registers 7 deaths. 3 new cases in Haryana. Total rises to 783. 11 inmates of Agra Central Jail are now infected. New case takes Uttarakhand tally to 70. 1 more tests positive in Puducherry. Tally now 4. BSF has reported 13 new cases in the last 24 hours. So there are total of 42,78,180 cases of coronavirus worldwide today, not in India. And the death toll of the world being 2,92,376 to be precise. And in India, the cases rose to 74,281 with 2,415 deaths. So the package that was announced by Mr. Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister, at 10% of GDP, PM Modi's Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan ranks among the biggest in the world. Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan is what Modi ji has said us to follow as a strategy to make India self-dependent, which means that the India should use products that are made in their home country and not the products that are made outside the country or made by the people who are foreigners, who are not Indian-based companies, so that the money circulates in the economy and the profits also get circulated in the economy and we get a boost in the economy. The due date of all the ITR return filing extends from 31st July to November 30. This was announced by the Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman in her address today. As $266 billion, the stimulus value in dollar terms is almost equal to Pakistan's annual GDP of $284 billion. Okay, government announces rupees 3 lakh crores collateral fees automatic loans for businesses, including SMEs. Borrowers with up rupees 25 crore outstanding and rupees 100 crore turnover are eligible for this 3 lakh crore collateral fees automatic loans. Government to provide stressed MSMEs with equity support will facilitate the provision of 20,000 crore as subordinate debt. Rupees 50,000 crore equity infusion for MSMEs through fund of funds. Government to take up PF for firms with 100 staff earning less than rupees 15,000. Statutory PF contribution by employer reduced to 10% from 12% earlier, to provide rupees 6,750 crore liquidity relief, rupees 90,000 crore liquidity injection for power distribution companies. Government announces rupees 45,000 crore liquidity infusion through a partial credit guarantee scheme 2.0 for NBFCs, that is non-banking financial companies. Life in a lockdown, Karnataka CET will be conducted on 30th and 31st July. Phase 2 of Vande Bharat from 16th to 22 May. Vande Bharat is the bringing of inmates and bringing of the Indian people from outside to India and other transfers made within the country. Air India partly seals its Centaur Hotel, not cellular, sorry, CAPF canteens to only sell local goods. So here is the business and economy news. Sensex rallies 637 points on government stimulus boost. That means Sensex has risen by 637 points. Gold ETFs attract rupees 731 crore in April. Maruti fourth quarter profit slumps 28% on weak demand. India up at 74th place on WEF's Global Energy Transition Index. BRICS New Development Bank provides $1 billion loan to India. Jet insolvency resolution professional seeks fresh EOL. Volkswagen India initiates safety program across facilities. Kotak Mahindra Bank profit falls 10% YOY to rupees 1267 crore. Bank makes rupees 650 crore COVID provisions. And the news from around the world on Economic Times is Nissan plans $2.8 billion in cuts as part of restructuring plan. Sony reports 57% drop in quarter 4 profit, declines to give outlook. UK economy shrinks 5.8% in March, most on record. Airlines will not need to spare middle seat to restart travel. Over 140 small Japan companies bankrupted, obviously due to the coronavirus. 7 new cases in mainland China. Again, worldwide cases pass 4.28 million. We just saw. Brazil registers one-day record for deaths, 881. Germany's confirmed cases rise by 798 to 1,71,306. France now has world's 4th highest toll, totaling to 26,991. Okay, that was the news update from Economic Times and quick reads that I just gave you. And other news from Economic Times is lockdown forces rural India to reduce food intake. A significant 68% of households said they had reduced food items in their meals. 50% households had reduced the number of times they were eating in a day, and 24% of the households has borrowed food grains. Vande Bharat 2.0, 30,000 Indians, 31 countries and 149 flights. During the first phase of the Vande Bharat mission, Air India and its subsidiary Air India Express are scheduled to operate a total of 64 flights between May 7 and May 14 to bring 14,800 Indians from 12 countries on a payment basis. Waiting lists for special trains from May 22. Railways. The railway has, however, kept the waiting list on these trains up to 100 for AC 3 tier, 50 for AC 2 tier, 200 for sleeper class, 100 for chair class, and 20 each for first AC and executive class, truncating the queues for confirmed tickets significantly. Clear picture of GST mop up in April to come by June end. To a query on why the April GST number has not been released, Pandey says you know that the GST filing dates has been extended. If it will be extended, we have said that returns can be filed till June. People who have turnover of more than 5 crore, they also got more time, and that is why they are saying that the dates are being extended and the number has not been released due to the extension of the dates. Maximum finance pays rupees 123.78 crore to settle tax dispute. The settlement was finalized with the Principal Commissioner of Income Tax 1 Jalandhar earlier this month, and due taxes have been remitted, the company said in a statement. The payment also clears a tax dues contingent liability that has been reported on the company's books for the past 2 decades, the company added. Okay, traditional PC shipments fall by 17% in first quarter, IDC. Shipment of these devices, inclusive of desktops, notebooks, and workstations, declined despite demand from enterprises and other segments. Now return to pre-crisis air traffic before 2023. IATA. COVID's effects on air travel are certainly going to last a number of years with no quick rebound to 2019 levels, the global airline body chief economist Brian Pierce said. Self-reliant India doesn't mean we will look inwards. Finance Minister says India has the capability and entrepreneurship to build capabilities and help the world. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman said. Army considering proposal to allow civilians in force. The Army is considering a proposal to allow civilians to join the force for a period of 3 years, an Army spokesperson said in reply to a query. Venture investments declined to USD 81 million in April, that is 881 million US dollars in April. Exits by private equity and venture capital funds plummeted to a 70-month low by volumes at US dollar 117 million in 5 deals. EY, a consultant firm, said in the report. Tata Motors Ashok Leyland resumes operations. Tata Motors resumed operations as its plants in Patnanagar, that is Uttarakhand, and Sanand, Gujarat. The former makes the company's best-selling mini trucks, Ace, and other medium and heavy commercial vehicles, as well as some sport utility vehicles. The Sanand plant manufactures small passenger vehicles, Tiago and Tigor, as well as electric vehicles. Tiago and Tigor are, by the way, some cars, small spec segment. Government stimulus to help CV industry, Ashok Leyland MD says. Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Tuesday announced a stimulus package worth Rs 20 lakh crore, which combines the government's recent announcements on supporting key sectors as also measures rolled out by the Reserve Bank of India. So these were some quick reads from the Economic Times, and let's now move to the BBC News. Let's see what this has to offer us. Let's see the popular news, or let's see the top stories from around the world. Okay, let's see the popular news. So number one news is that lawsuit after US health worker shot dead by police. A woman in the US state of Kentucky was shot and killed by police after they raided the wrong address, according to a lawsuit. And then there is the full news. Okay, that's saddening. The other news says that Afghan attack, maternity ward death toll climbs to 24. So there was an attack in Afghan, and the death rate climbs to 24. The number of people who were killed in militant attack on a maternity ward in the Afghan capital has risen to 24. Mothers, newborn babies, and nurses were among the victims. At least 16 people were injured, the health ministry said. Tuesday's attack in Kabul prompted widespread condemnation. No group has said it carried it out. That means no group is claiming that they have carried it out. In a second incident that day, a suicide bomber killed at least 32 people at a funeral in Nangarhar, in the east of the country. There is some place. President Ashraf Ghani has ordered the resumption of offensive operations against the Taliban and other groups. He accused the militants of ignoring repeated calls for a reduction in violence. The Islamic State's group said it was behind the attack on the police commander's funeral in Nangarhar. It is still not clear who carried out the attack at the Dast-e-Barchi hospital in Kabul, and the Taliban have denied any involvement. So this was the second news. Let's see the third. Russia Khachatryan sisters. I don't know how to pronounce this name. Investigators refuse to drop murder case. Russian investigators have refused to drop a murder charge against 3 sisters who killed their abusive father as he slept, leaving a controversial case in legal limbo. The General Prosecutor's Office concluded earlier this year that the Khachatryan sisters, or I'll call it K-sisters, had been subjected to prolonged physical and sexual abuse. The killing should therefore be seen as necessary self-defense, it said. That ruling had been expected to close the case. But a lawyer for one of the women has told the BBC that Russia's investigative committee has now rejected the prosecutor's position. What did the sisters do? Teenagers Maria, Angelina, and Christina, their surname Khachatryan, were arrested in July 2018 for attacking their father, Mikhail, using a knife, hammer, and pepper spray. They later testified that their father had subjected them to prolonged abusive, effectively holding them hostage in their home. This is probably the picture of one of the girls. So basically, the story is that they were abused by their father and they killed him. So the case is just going on. There's one more news. Rapper 6ix9ine has 200k dollars charity donation rejected. Rapper 6ix9ine has had a $2 lakh donation to children's charity that was rejected. The No Kid Hungry campaign said it has a policy of rejecting funding from donors who do not fit within its values. Oh, that's great. The rapper, who was recently in prison for crimes he carried out as a part of violent gang before making a successful comeback, called the decision cruel. The Brooklyn rapper had evaded jail time on previous charges, including sex offenses in 2015. In a now deleted Instagram post, 6ix9ine, whose real name is Daniel Hernandez, announced he was donating $2 lakh to the campaign, which seeks to solve problems of hunger and poverty in the US. But Share Our Strength, the non-profit organization that runs the campaign, told the BBC it had declined the controversial rapper's offer. We are grateful for Mr. Hernandez's generous offer to donate to No Kid Hungry, but we have informed his representatives that we have declined this donation, it said. So basically the news is that he was offering a donation and they have declined it because the rapper doesn't fit in their values. And this is a live news that I just opened, so we will close it from here if it gets closed. So these were the big updates from, I think, BBC News. And it's not closing. So we should open another, that is Hindustan Times. Let's see what Hindustan Times has to offer us. So is there any, trending. Let's see what was the trending news. About 200 goats escape enclosure, wander around. Maybe they're wondering where humans have gone. Oh, where is this news coming from? We don't know. The dog was going out on dreamy date. Netizens can't stop gushing. That's a useless news. If getting up early in morning is not your game, you'd relate to Sania Mirza's TikTok video. Again, a useless news. Bear breaks in cabin house, steals its snacks and pills. Netizens have questions. Oh, a bear break in the house. The Bobcat's big leap looked like stunt out total wipe. Let's read some other news from here. Lockdown 4.0, Delhi Metro starts maintenance work for resumption of services. That's a good news. On video, migrant seeks help in returning home, found dead a day later. That's saddening. COVID-19, 15 new cases found in Guwahati, Assam. Tally jumps to 80. We've already read all the tallies. Shades of Malia case in Nirav Modi trial, UK court. Let's read this. 2 witnesses deposed on Wednesday in defense of Dementair Nirav Modi on the third day of his extradition trial in the Westminster Magistrates Court, as objections, arguments and counter-arguments made resonated with those in the case of businessman Vijay Mallya. Maud's lawyer, Claire Montgomery, was also lawyer for Mallya, whose case has progressed from the Magistrates Court to High Court and is now seeking permission to appeal to the Supreme Court to block extradition to India. Retired Justice Abhay Thipse from India and Thierry Fritsch deposed by video link and substantiated the arguments put forth by Montgomery in Modi's defense. The Crown Prosecution Services representing India submitted more documents to the court. Okay, that was the news. As migrants turn COVID-19 positive, Uttarakhand High Court asked State Centre to clarify. Days after Vizag attack gas leak, 2 killed, 1 hurt in reactor blast and Telangana's biodiesel plant. Railways modifies order, allows issue of tickets to wait list passengers. We've already read that. First Shramik special train to Tripura begins, 1,200 people from Bangalore. Another news, 60-year-old woman in Tripura held for alleged murder attempt at son. Oh my God. So these were some of the news from today in Hindustan Times. And let's see if there is some other news which we have not read. Main news. I'm looking for some main news. We've already seen the dates of tax rates. Okay, so Economic Times and BBC News have been done. Now let's see what ANI has to offer us. Asian News International takes time to open, and let's see the latest news. Let's see for today. Sensex soars 947.55 points. We've read that. Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman to address the media at 4 p.m. today. She has already addressed, and she has told about the first phase of the 20,000 lakh crore funding that is to be initiated by the government. Union Finance Minister, okay, we read that. MHA has decided that only indigenous products will be sold at all CAPF canteens from 1st June. We've read that. Atmanirbhar India does not mean India is to be isolationist country. Finance Minister, we've read that. Rupees 3 lakh crore collateral fees, automatic loans, we've read that. TDS and TCS rates to be reduced by 25% till March 31, 2021. Finance Minister added. Due date for income tax returns for 1920 being extended from 31st July to October 31st and 30th November. We've read that. PM Cares Fund Trust allocates rupees 3,100 crore for fight against COVID-19. Out of total allocation of 3,100 crore from PM Care Fund, 2,000 crores to purchase ventilators, 1,000 crore to admit migrants, and 100 crore for corona vaccine development. So these were the latest news from ANI, and now let's go on to Times of India. Let's see what Times of India has to offer us. Briefs. Let's go to the briefs. Lockdown 4.0 will have new form, new rules, PM Modi said. The Lockdown 4.0 has also been announced in continuation to Lockdown 3 from 18th May. We need to be vocal about local, key points of PM speech. Let's read this so that you get an idea of the PM speech that was held yesterday night. That is, when I say yesterday, that means 12th May 2020. If this is some kind of an advertisement, we don't wish to see it. New Delhi Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Tuesday, while addressing the nation on the COVID-19 situation, said that we are in a state of war against the coronavirus. Here are the highlights in this folk crisis. Local suppliers have met our demands. India have to be vocal about local and buy products from them. The fourth phase of lockdown will be different from the previous ones with the new set of rules. The announcement for Lockdown 4.0 will be made before May 18. You have experienced that due to the reforms that took place in the last 6 years. Today, even in this time of crisis, India's systems have looked more efficient. Now the scope of the reforms has to be broadened, Prime Minister said. I am announcing a special economic package today, which will play an important role in the Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. The announcements made by the government over COVID-19 decisions of RBI and today's package totals rupees 20 lakh crores, which is 10% of the India's GDP. And rest, you know already, we have read. So there were not many news in Times of India today, or we read most of it. Now let's see what the Hindu has to offer us. Again, there is the news of this PM Care Fund, and we will go in the section of the headlines we want to see. So it has a tracker. Confirmed cases is 77,909, total deaths 2544, active cases 49253. Everybody has a different number just because nobody gets the actual count. Nirmala Sitharaman announces 3 lakh crore collateral fee loans for business. We've read that. Congress leaders take a dig at Modi's announcement of 20 lakh crore package. Now what are the people of Congress saying? No action, messaging only Namo, says former Union Minister Jairam Ramesh. On Wednesday, created an acronym to describe Prime Minister Narendra Modi's speech, in which he announced a stimulus package of 20 lakh crore. A day after Mr. Modi's speech, several Congress leaders took to social media to react to the announcement. Obviously, the opposition will never agree to whatever the ruling party is doing. Coronavirus, India lockdown day 50 updates. We read that. Army proposes 3-year tour of duty. We read that. CFPF Jawan in J&K guns down civilian who jumps checkpoints. Okay, COVID-19 lockdown April job losses highest among youth, says data. Vishakhapatnam gas leak, LG Chem dispatches technical team from Seoul for investigation, rehabilitation works. So basically, we've read all the main news. Mike Pompeo meets Netanyahu to discuss West Bank annexation. Okay, that's the latest news, international news. U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo met on Wednesday with the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to discuss Israel's plans to annex parts of the West Bank as Israeli troops shot and killed a Palestinian teen in a clash with stone throwers in the occupied territory. And this is the detail of all the conversation that they had. We are not getting into that because we are just covering the headlines and the main news. China again reports some new cases. So let us read some kind of sports news. Although there is no sports going on in the world today, now rugby goes the virtual way. People are playing virtual games. People are more into virtual games these days. Entertainment industry, 10 best food shows on Netflix. We are not interested. The Last Dance review, a ringside view to when Michael Jordan ruled. Not at all interesting news. Rana Dugabati is the person who played a role in Bahubali movie. To wed entrepreneur Mehika Bajaj. Okay, so he's getting married. And there's another news. Let's see the technology section. Heathrow Airport pilots, passenger screening technologies and more. Facebook agrees to pay $52 million to traumatized content moderators. Okay. Twitter makes it official to let employees work from home forever. The Twitter is saying to them, work from home forever. No need to come to the office. Automated tools helping Facebook remove more hate speech, bullying. Cyber threats during the COVID-19 pandemic. Let's read this. The International Criminal Police Organization has launched an awareness campaign on cyber threats during the COVID-19 outbreak. The campaign is taking place from May 4th to 31st. It is in coordination with the law enforcement agencies across the world. Basic cyber hygiene advice is being provided through the international network. This is to ensure that individuals and businesses are equipped with the knowledge to protect their systems and data. So basically, they are providing some kind of platform. India's request for Facebook user data second only to US. And there's other technology news. Let's move on to some other newspaper. Do we have some other newspaper? We have the last one, New York Times. Let's see what New York Times has to offer. We will only read. Okay, we cannot read this because we have not created an account on this one, as this is my first time. So we'll create an account and we will try to update you tomorrow from this newspaper as well. This brings us to the end of our news reading session today. If you liked the video, you know what to do. Thank you so much. This is Shubham Jain signing off.